everyone. Let me start off by saying Happy Easter. And of course, we all know this particular time of the year, this particular time of the season, is a very important time for Christianity. In fact, we all remember this is the time, and it's recognized, of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And this is one of the only times of the year when many of our families would head out to the churches to make sure they pray with their children and their families as a whole, and again express their sincere commitment and statements and sentiments to, of course, Jesus Christ and God. We know you cannot do it this time. We understand that, and we feel for you. I had the privilege this morning of meeting with 4 archbishops, starting off with Archbishop Richard Gagnon, Archbishop Richard Smith, Archbishop Don Boland, and Archbishop Raymond Poisson. And we discussed many issues, and one in particular is the upcoming services that will take place by live streaming on Sunday. You will still be able to participate at home, going into the websites of the following, and you'll see them at the bottom of the screen. It'll be www.archwinnipeg.ca, and that service takes place at St. Mary's Cathedral at 11 a.m. It's live streaming. It'll be live, happening on your computer at home. And also, we will have both French and English in the www.archsaintboniface.ca, but you'll find that at the bottom of the screen. And there's a French service at 9 o'clock and an English service at 10:30. So if you still want to participate by your traditional practice of going to church with your families, you can still do so at home. So I want to thank the archbishops for ensuring that they're still trying to get out the message and ability to support those that look at the church at times of hope and despair and support. And this time I know many of my own cabinet ministers are praying on an evening event that's taking place on the world at 9 o'clock. And I want to commend all of them that are going out and still praying for each and every one of us and for the world, and to find our way out of this crisis we all face, this pandemic of COVID-19. So again, I want to state again to everybody, Happy Easter. I know it's going to be challenging at the same time, where we traditionally hide our Easter eggs like we still do back home in Duck Bay. We'd be home at Easter. I'm not going home this year. I'm staying in Winnipeg, where we invite all of our nephews and nieces, which come by great numbers, and we hide Easter eggs and all kind of goodies and candies. And I'll actually hide money to make it more exciting for the older adults, or teenagers, I'll call them, as they participate on Easter. And of course, you have traditional meals, and turkeys or moose meat or goose, especially this time of the season, or ducks. But let me tell you this, we're still going to practice that at my home. We are going to have a traditional meal. We're going to have turkey and some other feasts of foods that will be being prepared by Glorian. But what we're doing is we're inviting the rest of the family not to come and eat, because you can't gather together more than 5 at your home, and we shouldn't be forgetting that we are still in a crisis. So what we do is we'll invite everybody to come get their plates, and that they can take home and eat at home with their family, even though it's my daughter, even though it's my nephews, and potentially other siblings of family members that I have will be coming to my house to pick up, and even friends like Don Roulette will be there as a bachelor. Al Benoit will probably be there to come and pick up a meal. So, but we will do that to hopefully still celebrate as a family. And I know it's painful in many ways. Like for example, I can't visit my daughter. She's in the hospital right now, and I cannot visit her. And so it's unfortunate, but it's a time that we all have to accept. But we should not set aside our traditions and the traditions we usually do when it comes to Easter, especially when family come together and everybody's laughing, everybody's a good time and enjoying themselves. So again, please enjoy your Easter, but just do it a traditional way, a different way instead of the traditional way, so we can continue to enjoy our families and our loved ones. On business now in the Federation, as you see, my minister yesterday gave an announcement, a very big announcement, $2 million. And I am proud of our minister, of course, Minister of Housing, Will Goodon. And that announcement is going to actually roll out May 1st, even during this COVID crisis. And the reason the MMF is doing that, and our cabinet has agreed to that process, is that we still need to take care of our families. Even though through this COVID crisis, isolation is essential, distancing is essential, we still need to take care of services that we must provide. So we are commencing May 1st with repairs that for private homeowners, our citizens that have homes that need repair. And the objective of that is to keep the house hopefully living and working for the next 10, 20 years. So this investment, as I stated, for $2 million is going to create a lot of jobs. It's going to create a lot of security for family, and at the same time give hope that, again, there's something happening. Even during the COVID crisis, we're still going out of our way to try to make jobs happen and security happen for our family. So again, I want to thank Mr. Goodon, of course, my cabinet for that $2 million announcement. Now, if you look at the numbers of resources we've been announcing, we're probably at $5 or $6 million of announcements already, but I'm very, very proud of that because it really sets the stage that even through the crisis and through COVID, we're still interacting, still working to protect our families and to enhance and to support our families in every way possible. We also have, I'm very proud to say, I talked about the employees that have been laid off across this province. And their applications, we have over 200 and I think 40 employees that have applied that have been laid off from different companies. We have now issued over 175 checks to them directly, and the rest will start rolling right out. And I indicated clearly the challenge was getting their direct deposit numbers, their account bank numbers, so we can work on that. They still need to do that with Canada. So understand, even though they're doing with us, it makes it much easier on the next step when they go for Canada, when they draw an attempt to draw unemployment insurance. And even then, if there's issues, we have the staff to assist you to make sure you get that support from Canada. So again, I want to thank the team that's working day and night to make sure we can get these checks out as fast as possible. I also want to tell the students I'm very, very proud of the reaction we got from you. I think we got over 504 students, a total additional money of $133,000 going out. A second tranche of support will be going, which has been approved by Cabinet for the students, because we have 504 students that are in our training program right now across the province, and they will be getting their second check in case they're worried that they haven't been able to get and wonder what's going to happen to their program and their training program. The department by Minister Fleury, of course, and Kerry Smith and Tracy have moved forward, and Cabinet has approved the second round of student supports to be going out. So students, be assured you're being taken care of, and we're watching everything very closely. On the employers, again, I want to thank all those employers, but I also want to express to them that we're working very hard. Yesterday, I participated in a conference call with Canada, with all parties committee from the federal government of Canada, along with, of course, all parties, meaning Conservatives, NDP, and the Liberals. And I represent the Métis National Council on the issue of finance. And one of the key issues I raised with the ministers and also with the committee members to send a message loud and clear is this. We have many businesses, over 400 businesses just alone in Manitoba, over 900 businesses in Western Canada that are worried right now about surviving this COVID crisis. They're worrying whether they can still open their doors after COVID or whether they can even maintain their existing during COVID, because they are worried. They're panicking. And some of the announcements, I thank the Prime Minister for his announcements, but I also echoed strongly yesterday to the Finance Committee, they need to take a further message to Minister Morneau, to the Prime Minister, to the Liberal Party of Canada, that these announcements, for example, the 50,000 threshold that they used for businesses, over half of our businesses will not qualify because they don't know how to meet that threshold. We need to lower that number so our Métis businesses can access this opportunity and this support from Canada. I have no doubt once they hear the message that Minister Morneau and the Prime Minister will react to this, because we also echo it to finance. Even out of the 6 capital corporations we have in Western Canada, we actually can deploy right now with our own. If we empty all of our bank accounts in our capital corporations, we can deploy without asking Canada for a penny, $17.3 million to our businesses to keep their doors open or to ensure they come back when the COVID crisis is over, that they can maintain an ongoing existing business. But what we don't have from Canada, and which I echoed strongly to the Finance Committee, is that right now, the banks of Canada, the credit unions of Canada, are getting guarantees from Canada in the event loans are being made to businesses and supports. We want that same guarantee, even though we're smaller in the context, of course, versus the banks of Canada and the credit unions. But we're also banks, but a smaller scale of banks. So we're asking Canada to do the same thing they're doing with the big traditional banks and the credit unions, give us the same type of support and the backup so we can ensure we can deploy that $17 million right now to our businesses. So I think I'm hoping that they'll accept our recommendation. But yesterday, I think it was well received by the Finance Committee, and it was actually today, you'll read an article in the Free Press, or yesterday, I'm sorry, because this is taped one day in ahead, or you can read it in the Globe and Mail, or on our website. You can see the position I was taking on behalf of the Métis businesses in this country. So Again, I want to express, we know there's massive layoffs right across Canada. We're talking in the millions. And we know our people too are getting laid off. So we're doing our darnest to make sure we get our supports there as fast as we can. We're getting our ampers as fast as we can. In fact, I am so proud of our team today. Our cabinet, as I said, meets every Tuesday, and our vice presidents meet every 3 days, and so does our management. Our ampers are moving out faster than I expected, and even though we're struggling with empty cupboards sometimes, empty shelves in the stores, we're still meeting those obligations, getting those ampers out. And we're now in the hundreds, and over 700, 800, I think to 1,000 now. So we're getting out there, and that's really phenomenal for our process. And given the fact that we're on our own. I expressed that to Canada yesterday in the Finance Committee. If you look at right now what's happening in this country, we have seen, and I praised this on our show, I praised the First Nation, I commended them on what's happening to them and the support they're getting from Canada. We are exceptionally, of course, not treated the same way. In fact, we have to go out and seek supports because the federal government's not there. They gave us $7 million. I'll give that to the Prime Minister and I'll commend them. But the system of the department and the policies are still prejudicial and discriminatory against the Métis people. First Nation, Indigenous, Inuit Elk Branch will not give us any support. They are basically saying it's only for First Nation Inuit. And the province of Manitoba, for example, will not give us no support. They're saying we're federal jurisdiction. And I said to the Finance Committee, I can't believe even during this pandemic, even through this crisis, that these prejudicial, discriminatory practices are still being dealt with or adhered to by the governments to completely deny the Métis any support. So right now, in fact, the Métis government is ordering from China, and we're working on the details of 500,000 masks to bring into our province so we can, because if this pandemic carries on for months, we need to have supports for our young people and our families and our elders in all kind of ways. I'll give you an example. We had a mask made by a Métis family, and I want to thank her, Jolene Desjardins, that made this mask for me and my family. And I gave it to other staff. She dropped off a package. She's sewing them at home. So Jolene, thank you for what you're doing at home. These masks are going to become very essential if this pandemic keeps on expanding and growing. Now we do know, and I want to send this message to everyone, we do know it's not growing as fast as Quebec. We know it's not growing as fast as Alberta and Manitoba, but we know it's out there. If you look at the numbers a few days ago, you know, from where it is today, it's only at 224. Only still lots, but 224. It's only a jump of 2 days, about 7 to 9. So the number is slowly trickling higher up, but not as rapid as Quebec. We see the growth is still 3 there. The real increase of only a small amount is 14 in southeast and southeast and Interlake, and the city of Winnipeg 172. That's where the increases have jumped up. But clearly, please don't say we've beaten this thing or we got it under control. That's what Dr. Rosen is saying. Don't take this lightly yet. We're not over that hill. We didn't climb that hill yet. We still got to be cautious and still be safe. So again, Julian, thank you for these masks. And I do hope our shipment will come in from China and that we'll find no hiccups and that we can distribute masks right across the province. We're issuing right now an attempt to try to get hand sanitizers. I know our people are pleading with us on that issue. We know that First Nations have received that supply chain from Canada, but they are not giving it to the Métis. And the province is not giving us any support either. So we're trying to get our hands on hand sanitizers right now so we can distribute through our hampers or through different ways and means. We do have some, and not much, probably a few thousand so far, potentially by on the 15th of April, we'll have the disinfection. They're 1 liter bottles. And right now we got 1,400 bottles. And we're trying to get that to child and family. We're trying to give that to different places and into our families at the same time. We'll try to figure out how we get to you and how we get it to your home. That's the challenge we face right now. And if you have any ideas, send them our way. But in closing, I want to state again how proud I am of our government, how proud I am of each and every one of you that are isolating, and how proud that we are of the reception we're getting from you. Our drivers are getting such positive responses from you. I was so proud, and I see on our website, thank you, MMF, and they showed a grocery. Some kid must have made it. I was so proud to see that at the window of a family, saying to the MMF, thank you for dropping off that hamper. And actually, somebody took it to one of our vice president's houses, not saying a name, but they dropped it off, put it on their window of their door, and said thank you to the MMF for dropping off a hamper for us. So again, I want to state over and over again, we're doing our best. We're helping food banks. We're helping homelessness. We're helping all different sectors of our society. But at the same time, we're trying to put a full plan of action for our citizens. So I know it's going to be tough this weekend. We've asked our staff to try to spend their time with the weekend. We still will be delivering some hampers throughout the weekend, but the majority of it, I want our staff to spend some time with their families right now. They're going through a very challenging time themselves. So I indicate, please have a happy Easter with your kids, your families, celebrate. We'll get back into full kilter Tuesday. But we'll still be delivering some hampers because our drivers are been paid and hired to still take hampers as they come out of the stores. So I want to thank you very much again to our citizens for being strong, being brave, and also at the same time, coming into our website, we're getting tens of thousands of hits on our website steady. So I want to thank you for that. Now tonight you're going to have some entertainment. In fact, it'll be yesterday. So last night I hope you enjoyed Seaweed at 7 o'clock. So every Thursday you'll have that type of entertainment coming into your home. Don't forget Saturday, 2 o'clock. You're going to have entertainment right here, and they say District 16 or Room 16, but the beat goes on. So I look forward for your families to enjoy that, be part of your Easter celebration. At the same time, have a chance to relax and hopefully find some normalcy in the whole challenge we're facing, that you can still be a family, still laugh, still have some good time, and listen to some good music. So again, on behalf of the Metis government, on behalf of every cabinet minister, on behalf of all your staff, and definitely to our families out there, be strong, be brave. The Metis MMF has got your back. Always remember that. MMF will always have your back. Thank you very much.